Hi everybody. This video is going to be on consumer behavior. And it's going to focus on how people make decisions about what to buy. And we're going to look at interpersonal or social factors. And then we're going to also look at intrapersonal factors. That means, the factors influencing the individual. And to approach this, we're going to use a model. And the model says people buy things because they're trying to solve a problem. And this comes from psychology, and it's been around for quite a while. I just want to clear up that, we don't buy brands just to solve problems. We also see, let's call it opportunities, where we can get something better or improve our standing in some way. So it works for both of them. It's not just solving a problem, a negative state. And then what's a model or a theory? Well, a model or a theory is a simplification of reality. And it focuses on the main factors. For example, in the lower right-hand corner is a Navy jet called a Crusader that my uncle flew in the Korean and Vietnam Wars. And above it is a model of it. All right? They're not the same. They're not the same size. Obviously, the little plastic model can't fly. It has no weapons. A person can't fit in it. But we can recognize it and understand a lot of what its functions may be. So models are a simplification of the main factors that are important. And though they can't explain every instance of people's behavior, they work for the majority. And models are really useful because if you understand the people's behavior in terms of buying brands, why they buy certain brands and which ones, then you're able to predict their behavior, which helps you plan better and also to design your products and brands. And also you can influence or change their behavior by changing their perceptions and the inputs that they use in making those decisions. Now, here's a situation. I'll be the you in here. Have a group of friends. We all get together on a regular basis, and it's my turn to be the host. And so I've bought the refreshments. I have snacks, refreshments, alcohol if we're old enough, and I've cleaned up, and I'm getting the place ready. And I'm really excited about it. And then I'm trying to get my music ready. So I take out my Bluetooth speaker and make sure everything's fine and try it out. It doesn't work. And then I try, I use my phone with another Bluetooth device and it works. So I know it's a speaker. All right. How does that make me feel? All right. I feel like the guy in the upper right hand corner. Oh man, my friends are going to think this is lame. I want to make sure everybody has a good time. I always have a good time when, go over to my friend's place. There's a special somebody that I want to get to know better, and now, they're not going to have a very good opinion of this. I wish the party was going to be like that lower right picture. So, every purchase or solving a problem starts with need recognition. That we recognize that we have a need because there's a problem or an opportunity. And we know from talking about earlier that, needs are important because when we feel them and they're strong enough, we act. We do something about it. It gives us motivation. So we know that a need is a sense of deprivation of something missing, but how do we know we have a need? Now that's taking it and we're drilling down a little deeper, probably something most of us have never thought about on our own. Well, we can look at it this way. And this comes from the idea that we have self-concepts and we do comparisons with others. We have some actual state. In this example, it might be, where I think I am socially. I have some view of, where I'm at. All right. And then at the same time, I have some desired state, an ideal state, where I want to be, where I wish I was, where I hope I'm going to be, and so forth. So we have a problem when there's a significant difference between our desired state and our actual state. That, we're not where we want to be. Like, you may want to get a certain grade in this course, and, that's your desired state, and you don't, you get a lower grade or a much lower grade, right? You're going to feel like, problem, I needed to do better. And, the cause of that is something totally different, not what we're talking about right now, but you're going to feel that. So forth. So marketing, as I said earlier, starts off with a pinch, even though it's not always a pinch. It could be, hey, you could have something better. But that's what leads us to realize, I have a need, because we're not where we want to be. Now, how can you go about creating a need? So here's an ad by Farmers Insurance.
We are farmers, bum 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 bum.
Hot dog. Seen it, covered it. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers, bum 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 bum.
Now here's the Allstate ad.
I'm your football-obsessed best man, and I think you having your big day during the big game is the worst. What, are you kidding me? Physically, I'm right here, but mentally, I'm here. Yeah, I do. Come on, speed it up. When all eyes are on you, my eyes are glued to the game. Touchdown, yeah! And if you didn't bundle your home and auto insurance, well, all of this could be tough to tackle. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me. I'm your football.
So, how did they create a problem or an opportunity? Allstate had the mayhem guy. He grabbed onto the rope, and there was a disaster at the wedding. The car was wrecked. Everything was wrecked. And he said, hey, if you haven't bundled your insurance because you have some cut rate insurance, you might have a tough time paying for that. He's creating a problem by lowering the actual state. He's saying your insurance may not be that good. And would you want to have this happen? Could you afford to pay for that? Farmers is the opposite. They show you a silly, kind of funny situation where the dog jumps up and causes a fire on a gas stove because the box catches on fire and something blows up. Maybe it's the propane tank or whatever. And then he says, hey, hot dog, we've seen that before. We covered it, so you don't have to worry. Farmers has got you. Everything's going to be good. So Farmers is raising the desired state and saying, hey, you can get insurance that's going to do more than you have right now. Most ads you see on television, online, they're going to do one of those two things. They're going to raise the desired state and tell you that you can reach it. All right, you deserve it. You've earned it. It's within your grasp. All right, and the other half are often going to say, hey, you're not doing as well as you think you are. You need to be careful. You need more, or something bad's going to happen. And actually, the very best commercials or marketing communications kind of do both. They tell you that, hey, you're not doing as well as you could be or want to, right? Lowering that actual state. But then they say, hey, but you can get that. And we can help make it easy. We can help you achieve that. So they do too. And that, presents a problem and then presents a solution. And those tend to be very effective. So just kind of looking at the whole relationship between actual and desired state. If your desired state equals your actual state, what does that mean? Well, you're exactly where you want to be. You have no discrepancy, no problem, and there's no reason to change any of your behavior. If you're getting the grades you like through the way you're studying, you're not going to change. If you're getting the playing time you want, from the coach, you're not going to change how you practice. All right? If you're getting all the hours you want and everything at work, you're not going to do anything different. What if your desired state and actual state are both low? My wife is a math professor. So she has students who say, I'm not very good at math. I can't do math. And then usually their test scores are really bad and they have to drop the course. Well, again, no discrepancy, right, in their minds. No problem, even though there is a big problem, but there's nothing they can fix. So no reason to change. So, what if a desired state is much higher than the actual state? And I already gave you the answer there, right? It can be demotivating. I want to own a Porsche, but I can't afford it. I want to own a BMW, but I can't afford it. Heck, I can't even afford one of those big trucks. They're too expensive. And that's a problem because then you're not motivated. If you do really poorly on the first test in a course, you might say, hey, this is not going to work out. I'm going to punt, even though you're not even going to try to do better. You're going to, leave. And that can happen. So take the car, automobile industry, the dealerships and the manufacturers, what they've done a good job of is making it seem that you can acquire the car that you want. The average price of a car these days is over $40,000. But they developed for a long time now leasing plans where basically you rent a car for 1, 2, 3 years, you put some money down, you pay a monthly amount, you're responsible for any damage to the car, any wear and tear and so forth, but the monthly cost might be $300, $400, and a lot of people can afford that. So you can get that BMW, you just don't own it, and so forth. So they've done a good job doing that. And then at the same time, they'll also, in their product line of vehicles, they'll have one vehicle that is, significantly less than the other ones. So people can say, well, maybe I can't afford that one. And they'll go to the dealership. And then they'll drive it, and maybe they like it, but it doesn't have most of the features they want. And then now it gives their salespeople, their organization, a chance to upsell them to a more expensive model. So understanding desired state, actual state is real important in what people would say is setting the hook, all right, in terms of marketing and getting people to be interested.